Okay, I'm not trying to freak you out, but I'm staring very hard on the camera lens. Can you see my soul through my eyes? Just kidding. So anyway, today I feel like to talk about soul alignment and why it's important for us to stay soul aligned. And it's not something like, oh, Jen, you got it all figured out. No, in fact, I'm not fully, but I've studied quite a lot about why I've been in my own misalignment. So this one of my favorite quotes by, what is his name? This French philosopher, 𝘴𝘰𝘶𝘭'𝘴 de Chardin, I think. I hope I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. He said, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I just, resonated so highly when I first saw this quote many, many years ago. And in fact, yes, our soul doesn't die. Our soul survive or continue to survive through the human death over and over and over again. So what I want to share with you is these 3 points that I've learned throughout my journey about what is soul alignment. So number 1, it is not something airy-fairy, woo-woo. Because of the term of it, it could feel, it's kind of too abstract because you talk about soul, it's not, tangibly being seen, being touched. But it can be very practical. So for example, we as human beings, we have our ways of operating, mostly from the motivation of pain or fear. So there's a controlling dynamic that I need to get this done. I have to do this even though I don't like it. Or if I don't do this and then I'm going to suffer, then what's going to happen? So when we are operating from this place, we start to disconnect from our souls further and further and further. So our soul wants to feel that expansion. It wants to experience everything, even if that includes a little bit of danger from the human points of view, right? But throughout the years, I've learned that whenever I catch myself saying, I have to do this or else, or I have to get this done, or else I'm going to lose something that's important to me. I need to just take a step back and say, no, what do I get to experience? So when it's a get to, then I allow myself to see things through a childlike innocence, which is our soul's essence. Because our soul's essence are just pure and it wants to just experience as it is. There's no need to control. There's no need to hold back, but trust every step in the unknown. And so that's number 1. And number 2 is operating from a place of higher frequency. So when we're vibrating higher, that means allow ourselves to feel more joyful, more loving, more curious, without judgment, more gratitude. And again, a lot of times when we are not being able to feel that high frequency because we are struggling so much with the lower ones, we are feeling so much shame, so much guilt for whatever that's going on, in our own human experience, and we label ourselves as we are not good enough, or who am I to experience that joy? Who am I to experience that loving relationships? Who am I to, you get the gist. Technical glitches, so let me just continue on with what I had to say. Again, allowing ourselves to tap into those higher vibrational frequency of love, of joy, of gratitude is a conscious practice. So for example, I go to nature as often as possible. If not, I move my body and dance. And those are like little ways for me to come back to this present moment of, wow, I'm alive. And what else can I complain about? you know? So be in those moments of aliveness is also the quickest way to connect with our soul. Our soul loves to speak to us the loudest when we, our psyche, are the most silent. And then the last one, the third point is, yes, whenever you're connecting with your soul is going to be so honest with what it wants, what she wants, the desire that you want to experience through certain experiences. And some of them could be very exciting. Oh, I haven't traveled by myself before. Let me just allow myself to take a trip, even if it's a short distance one. And that's okay, right? And that can fulfill that soul expansion in you. However, not all soul-aligned actions are easy to take for our human psyche. We sometimes may experience a lot of resistance or fears toward the things that we already know deep in our core that those things are no longer serving me. For example, talking about relationship, let's say a friend that you've been hanging out forever since childhood, but you just no longer feels that matching vibration, the reciprocal nurturing exchange is available, and you know in your heart that you need to call it an end. And are you willing to do so? So our soul, again, the mind, the heart, and the will have to work together in order to take that soul-aligned action. Yeah, so I hope this makes sense to you. And then again, we are here as human beings in this body, but we need to cultivate and continuously train our soul so we start really living every day with that pure intention of, this is a soulful living. This is not just check the to-do list, 9 to 5, and then I'm going to bed. I'm doing the same thing repeatedly and kind of like Groundhog's Day, right? So I hope this makes sense. And I'm so curious about what you think about soul alignment and what does it mean to you? And what are some of the activities that you do that can nurture the higher frequency you can tap in to connect with that soul even deeply. So I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.